Hey everybody. All right, so we're gonna talk about two. Sorry, I had a malfunction. 2V vector addition. So 2D vector addition is when we have a vector A and we want to add it to a vector B. So before, with 1D, we had, say, vector C and vector D. Say it's like that. We did the tip to tail method. So we did C, then we, starting from the tip of C, we drew D. D looked like it's a little bit longer, so I drew it a little bit longer. And then our result was from the start of our first vector, which was vector C, to the tip of our final vector. So this would be vector C plus D. So this is our result, whatever the actual case was. If C were 5 and D were 7, C plus D would be 2 to the left. So that's 1D. I think everybody was doing pretty well with that. But let's look at 2D vector addition. The same process works. We still use the tip to tail method. So when we're drawing, we're going to take vector A. That looks like it's vector A. And we're going to go up vector B. So start at the tip of vector A, go up vector B. And then our result starts at A, points to the tip of B. So this we're going to call our result, which is vector A plus B. So this black vector has its own name. We've been saying the word result, but really it's actually a little bit longer. It's called the resultant. The resultant is essentially it's the result once all vectors are added. It's our final vector. So C plus D would be the resultant. This R is the resultant of A plus B. So what do we do with that? How do we get this number? Well, let's look at an example. So let's say we had a vector of 3 and we wanted to add it with a vector of 4. Well, again, tip to tail. So there's our 3. Then we want to start right at the tip of our 3 vector, go down with our 4 vector. So our result, once again, our resultant, start at the 3, at the tail of 3, go all the way down to the tip of our second or final vector. So 3 plus 4, well, if you notice, this is a triangle, and in fact, it's a right triangle. So we have to use Pythagorean theorem. And the Pythagorean theorem for a right triangle of sides A, B, and C, which is what we have, says that A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So we're looking for C squared. In this case, our real thing is going to be 3 squared plus 4 squared equals our resultant squared. So, and our resultant is R. Well, 3 squared, some of you already might know the answer because from basic geometry. 3 squared is 9, so 9, plus 4 squared is 16, so that equals 9 plus 16 is 25. So R squared equals 25, and that gives us, we're going to take the square root of both sides. This is a length, so we're always going to just take the positive value. So r is 5. So this is a 3, 4, 5 right triangle for this example. So let's look at another one. Let's see. Let's do, this one won't be quite as simple. Let's do 7 plus 9. Vector up of 9. So, same idea. We're going to do r7 plus 9. Oops. Try to keep the colors the same. And our resultant is going to be, again, r squared equals 7 squared plus 9 squared. R squared, and this you could just plug into a calculator. So 7 squared is 49, I know that one. Plus 9 squared is 81. So you're going to get r squared equals 130. And we want to take the square root. There it is. Square root of 130 is 11.4. So r equals 11.4, whatever the unit is. So r equals 11.4. So one thing to note, the r will always be greater than each or either of your sides. So it'll always be greater than or essentially equal, but that's kind of a boring one. R is greater than each leg. So 9 here is your highest. Well then 11.4 is bigger than 9. So we're good. Alright, so let's do another one. And you should be copying all these down. We're going to make it a little bit more complicated. We're going to add 5 plus 2 plus 7. So now we're kind of combining the 1D and the 2D. 5 plus 2 plus 7. Well, 5, start with our 5, plus 2, so I can go back on that. So really that's just a 3, plus 7. So it's all tip to tail. I went out, started with my 2, which was the red, came back. Then where the red ended, I started my 7 and went up. And my result, sorry, I'm running out of color, so I'm going to go back to green. My result is still from the beginning of where I started, the tail of the first, to the tip of the second. Or a tip of the final one, I should say, sorry. So, in this case, we went out 5, came back 2. We know that that side is going to be length of 3. This top part, we have only the length of 7, so our resultant is going to be 3 squared plus 7 squared is r squared. So r squared is 9 plus 3 squared is 9 plus 7 squared. So r squared is 58. And that leaves r being 7.6. Alright. I think we'll do one more. Let's do 50 plus 40 plus 20. 50 plus 40 plus 20. So these could be forces. Let's say that these are forces just to show some units. So 50 newtons to the right, 40 newtons down, 20 newtons to the left. So same idea. We once again want to start tip to tail. So 50 down 40. Trying to get these about the right length here. 50, 40, and then 20. Something like that. We got a little bit of an issue. Well, not really. So what do we do here? This doesn't make a triangle. It still works the same. Again, running out of colors. So it still works the same. So my resultant from the tail of my first down to the tip of my last. So this is my resultant. How do I figure that out, though? What do I do? Well, remember what one of the first worksheets, we said we had, I think it was A plus C, and then that was like question 1. And question 2 was what's C plus A? And we got the same exact answer. Again, because vectors are commutative. So I don't want to do east-west, north-south, then east-west. I want to do all the east-wests first. So really I'm going to rewrite this as 50, just like we did with the previous problem. 50, back 20, then down 40. So 50 and 20, I got 50 to the right, 20 to the left, so that's going to be a 30, and my result now, it's the same thing. All I had is I just was able to move this 40 right here over a little bit. Sorry. Apologies on that one. Press the wrong button. So redraw it. Apologies on that. So there's my resultant. We had the 50, the 20, and the 40. So 50, 20, 40, this really gave us, this piece kind of cancels out. So we've got a side of a 30, a side of a 40. We're looking for our resultant. Well, again, it's a 3, 4, 5 triangle. So this is going to come out to be 50, but I'll show you. So our resultant, r squared, what is this? Not working. Sorry, having all sorts of issues here. I gotta use my mouse pad. R squared equals, I got this to work. Nope. R squared equals, having all sorts of issues. 30 squared plus 40 squared. It's really hard to do that on a mouse pad. R squared equals, oh my gosh, 30 squared is 900. Wow, this is really hard. Shout out to Hallie, by the way, because she asked me to give her a shout out. And Anthony Salella, again, asked me to give him a shout out. No problem. So 900 plus 1600 is 2500. If you were to take the square root, do that in your calculator. Again, this is really hard to do. 2500. So the square root of 2500 is going to give us, wow, that's supposed to be an arrow. Doesn't want to work. Square root of 2500 is, I'm going to do it really big, makes it easier. Is 50. So our side is 50. And that's our result. We are going to add a little bit more complexity to this, but really it's just hopefully that simple. All right, so these were newtons, 30 newtons, 40 newtons, and 50 newtons. What we're going to do in class, next class, is learn how to find what this angle is, that angle X. All right, so I'm going to check these as homework, make sure these notes are there, and we'll be good to go. Thanks.